Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Scythe, and today we're getting back into the house in Fata Morgana. And we have just witnessed Michael suck the life out of a human. Not the bandit's entire life, but a big chunk of it, because he was laying hands on the white-haired girl. She loves him, but now it is everything but confirmed that he loves her too. So yeah. We'll see how things turns out, and it does not look well, because the first sentence we see here today is the collapse of their happiness came slowly, gradually, meaning that either she is going to there something is happening between them and they can't be with each other anymore, or outsiders are going to come here and burn our place down. We'll see exactly what happens, but for now, let's go. The collapse of their happiness came slowly, gradually. Perhaps it was because she had touched his blood instead of his skin. Oh, right! That was the thing. I think the bandit slashed at him and she was splashed with his blood, but it was all dark, so he didn't see it. Oh, right. The deterioration of the white-haired girl's health crept along at a relaxed pace. The life was not sucked out of her in the blink of an eye, as it had been from the bandit. She merely grew progressively less and less healthy. Amidst her physical decay, she was bestowed with one blessing. Her beauty remained untouched. But as far as blessings went, surely there were others she could have been granted. Could God have not picked something a little better for her? By the time the two of them realized what was happening, it was already too late. The white-haired girl had grown so weak she could hardly leave her bed. Yes. Oh, you are there. I am. Thank goodness. I can't see very well anymore. Damn. How could this happen? I thought I had saved you, but no. I did the exact opposite. Please, don't talk that way. You did save me that day. But you're on the cusp of death now, and it's my fault. Because of this curse I bear. How? How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? What am I? Why was I given this body? Michael. Can I ask you a favor? Go ahead. Stay with me, please. As much as you can. Until the very end. I was going to do as much anyway. Thank you. I am happy, Michael. Happier than I have ever been. And I mean that. You didn't just save my life. You saved me. I've been saved. But only me. I wonder how he'll handle things when I'm gone. If only I hadn't opened the door that day. I wouldn't be leaving him all alone. And we could be happy together for even longer. Yes? Will you please hold my hand? I think it's probably safe now. I will not. I cannot touch you. If I do, I might take what remains of your life. Take your beauty away and force you to die hideous. I cannot touch you. Yeah, that must... glitch again. Yeah, but that must suck ass. Having someone that you love and can't get close to them. So, her wish. Ooh, she is going to make a wish to the house. On air, Huh? On his way back from the washroom several days later, Michael heard muffled voices. He got it? LM? Good. He was having trouble making out what they were saying, but he could tell it was several men, and they were outside the front door. The fact that he could hear them all through the heavy door meant they were probably shouting quite loudly. An indescribable sense of uneasiness came over him. Dread. He drew near the door and focused on the voices on the other side. They grew clearer, enough for him to make out what the men were saying. Everything's in place. We're ready to kill this witch now. This is definitely the place. The half-dead bandit said she was in this mansion. Sexism at its purest form. Hey, it was a dude that killed you. But no, gotta blame the witch, gotta blame the woman. Listen, well, no matter what we find here, we'll kill it. Okay, he's decent. It could be a child for all I care, that doesn't change anything. Kill the witch. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. What he heard beyond the door was a group of men shouting for the death of the witch. In that moment, Michael regretted his decision to let the bandit go free and not watch over him until the moment of his demise. He must have made his way down to the village in search of help, where he revealed what he had found at the mansion. Damn it! But it was too late. Regret would solve nothing. He could neither stop the villagers from raiding the house, nor could he stop the white-haired girl from dying to the effects of his curse. He was helpless to do anything. The gears of his fate had locked him onto a path of tragedy, and were turning mercilessly onward. The man had begun trying to break down the door with what sounded like a battering ram. While the first strike was not enough to breach the barrier, it was still quite powerful. He was certain it would not hold for long. Michael's mind raced. Was there anything he could do about this predicament? How could he escape from the corner he had been backed into? Despite his possessing inhuman powers, he would be powerless against a full mob of adult men. The villagers almost certainly came armed as well. Michael? A weak voice came from behind him. Aghast, he spun around to find the white-haired girl stumbling towards him. She breathed heavily, leaning against columns for support. What are you doing out here? You'll only worsen your condition by exerting yourself. I had a sinking feeling, and I heard noises on my way here. It seems that I brought all my misfortune upon you. Don't say that. If I hadn't come here, this never would have happened. You never would have been in any danger. Please, Michael, hand me over to the men outside. Absolutely not. I will do no such thing. They're here for the witch, aren't they? I'm guessing they're the same people who were chasing me before. The village had a poor harvest this year, I hear. Like the village in the legend. And I believe it's the witch's curse. But you're not a witch! They need someone to fill the role, though. So please, hand me over, and then escape on your own. I could never. Please, Michael. I'm the one who's cursed, not you. And you want me to hand you over? What would I have left then? Nothing. Not a thing. I would have nothing. After so long, I finally found someone who isn't afraid of me, who won't run. I have no interest in a world that would take you away from me, make me live alone once more. To hell with such a world. Michael. Would you be willing to die with me? If that's what you wish. And stay with me until the very end. Yeah. I probably wanted to hear that just as much as him. No, not probably. I did. I wanted to have someone at my side as much as him. It's so lonely not having anyone. To live alone. To die alone. To not have anyone watching over you. for no one to even know you're dead. I simply wanted someone to tell me they're here for me. To be there, to hold my hand. How wonderful that would be. The sense of utter relief it would bring would be enough to cast away all the pain. To allow me to accept all our suffering. So please, tell me you'll... Okay, so what's happening now? Michael and the white-haired girl chose to spend their final moments at the top of the observation tower. Yep. They could hear the crash of the battering ram against the door, and the shouts of the men and their stomping feet. But despite all that, the ray of light shining through the little window was as beautiful as always. The room's air of serenity remained unimpeached. After the long climb to the top, the white-haired girl was terribly out of breath. Michael considered several times offering her his hand, but the possibility that doing so might rob her of her last scraps of life stayed his hand. It sounds like they broke down the door. I'm glad we made it up here when we did. I'm so sorry for asking this of you. Don't be. I would have chosen here for my final moments as well. This is the one place in this mansion with any sunlight. The one place I can get a good look at you. Thank you. I'm truly glad that I was able to end up here. That I was able to meet you. And more than anything, that you said you cared about me. How I managed to become an essential part of your life. Do you even need to ask? I wouldn't be here otherwise. I feel the same way as you. I'm sure of it. The two of us are more similar than you probably care to admit. Can I ask you one more thing? Go on. Will you embrace me? If this is to be the end, if this is to be my last chance, then I don't want it to end without having been able to touch you. Please, don't refuse me this, Michael. Just do it, please. I won't keep you waiting long. Thank you. The truth is, I always wanted this. I dreamed of being able to hold you. I dreamed of it too. Thank you. I am so very... She's still so beautiful. What a cruel joke. Could you not have given us some other miracle? One that would allow us both to survive. Where are you? Where do you get off to? I can't find her, damn it! Hey, there's some stairs over there. They lead up. Beneath a single ray of light, the white-haired girl lay completely still. Not even a frail sigh escaped her closed lips. She remained as gorgeous as ever. It was as though she had simply fallen asleep in the sunlight. Looking down upon her, Michael determined to do one thing. I will not allow anyone to sully this sight. He gave a fleeting glance back at her pristine corpse, then opened the door and stepped through it alone. He would protect that room where she lay. Hey, there's someone up there. So this is where you've been hiding, you infernal witch! Wait, that's not the girl? The raucous sound of their footsteps rang up from below. Shortly thereafter, the men themselves came into view. As he had expected, they were heavily armed. He glowered at the men, then sucked in a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs. I am the witch you seek! I have inherited her curse, and it is I who bring calamity upon you. You hear that? But he's a man or woman, it doesn't matter. Death to anyone who has ties to the witch. Cleanse this earth of all impurity. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Michael did not flinch at the sight of the men. He stood unyielding between them and the door. He did not flinch when they raised their weapons against him. Nor when they pierced his body. Yeah. Die and take a curse with you. I have no need for this life any longer. It's all yours. I am cursed. To kill even that which I wish to protect. But at the very least, I can protect one thing before my life is done. Not even one of you will leave this place. Wither and die by my curse. The blood spilling from his skewered body flowed down the stairs, down and down like a little river, soaking the feet of every single man who had stormed the mansion. This was the last thing he saw before the final grains of life slipped between his fingers, which brought a faint smile to his lips. Oh no, what do you mean she lives? No fucking Romeo and Juliet shit. Neither of them had expected what happened next though, for God has a most twisted sense of humor. The white-haired girl had not miraculously passed away without being robbed of her beauty. Why am I still alive? She had rather not passed away at all. Quite cruel of him, was it not? Michael? Where have you gone, Michael? Michael! I smell blood. For had they allowed her to die, she would not have been made to witness the scene that awaited her. No. No! And I am sure you know just what it was she laid her eyes upon in that moment. The ravaged corpse of her beloved. A torrent of blood streaming down, 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 down the spiral staircase. And the sickening stench it raised. No, why? And his was not the only body. The villagers who had assaulted the mansion had been subjected to his curse. Her life drained from their withered shells. Why did this? Michael, why? Why am I the only one still alive? That is a question I cannot answer either. Perhaps his curse did not affect those he loved, as terribly cruel as that might be. In that case, he would not have been able to kill his mother, I guess? But who knows? I cannot say. Why, you said we would go together. A world without you has no meaning. Had she actually expended her life there in the room at the top of the tower, perhaps his tale could have had a happy ending. She would have at least been able to have the man she loved at her side until her very last moments upon this earth. But that was not what had transpired. She had survived, been left utterly alone. I felt a profound pity for the miserable girl. I felt a profound pity. The maid is the witch? I really did not want her to be, but of course that thought ran across my mind. So I called out to her. Morgana, the witch. Would you like to see him once more? What? I have the power to help you meet him again. Who's there? Where are you? You know what they call this mansion. So, who do you suppose remains on these grounds? No way. You're from the legend. You actually exist. Now, I ask you a simple question. Would you like to see him again? The witch grants people's wishes, but at a price. I said I wouldn't ask for her assistance if I met her. But that's all changed. Now that I've lost him, if it's truly possible, then yes, I want to see him. Bring him back to life. Regrettably, I cannot directly meddle with the forces of life and death. However, I can guarantee you this. Your reconstruction. Reconstruction. Correct. To ensure that you remain as yourself in future lives, and you are not reborn as someone else, your body and mind shall be reconstructed. As shall his. If you sincerely wish to reunite with one another, if you genuinely need each other in your lives, you will eventually meet again. All I can promise you is eternal reconstruction. Eternal. That's a big word. But then again, she does not remember her previous lives, only have memory flashes, so that's fine. They will just always come back to each other. What you can make of it is up to you. You want to see him again, don't you? You want to hear his voice again, don't you? You want to feel his hand on your cheek once more, don't you? If that's what you want, then you must remain who you are. If you are simply reborn, that wouldn't be you. So there wouldn't be any point, would there? Me, as I am, and he, as he is. Make up your mind quickly. I will not wait long. I want to see him again. As you wish, sweet little girl. I shall grant you both eternal reconstruction, and pray with all my heart that you can attain true happiness. Shortly thereafter, the white-haired girl took her own life. She decided she had nothing to gain by remaining in the present time, and that in order to reunite with Michael, she needed to make her way to her next life. And thus, the mansion was left bereft of a master, to travel slowly through the ages until someone came along to give it life once more. Complete Chapter 4, Misty Manor. Okay, so we have finished the main story now, because the game is supposed to be 4 chapters. Question is, what do we have left? We still need to figure out who I am. Am I the white-haired girl, or am I the witch, the Michael? And how do I get my beloved, essentially? But an unfathomable amount of time has passed, and the two have still yet to reunite. Have they, Master? You remember everything now, do you not? You are present in every single era. The reason for which is, as I described in the previous tale, because you yearn to be reunited with someone. But that person never showed up in any era. And poor sweet you, having no memory of any of that, lived those lives with other men. Is it any surprise misfortune befell those eras then? The door swung closed. But rather than outside, you and the maid was inside the dull, monochrome room at the top of the observation tower. The awe-inspiring ray of light shone not through the lone window high upon the stone wall. Wrapped in a curious, impenetrable darkness, you both stood alone in the room. The maid wore a gentle but brightly cold smile as she looked straight at you. It is not your fault a misfortune befell you. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were always so kind, so pure of heart. You had boundless trust for others and the goodness of people. You were the very image of all that is right. There is no greater misfortune than someone as pure and beautiful as you, being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. I still pity you for everything you had to go through. You poor, poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted, constantly betrayed, the man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit worn down to the bone, you lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who were you hoping to find wandering into this illusory mansion, cut off from the real world? You and I are the only ones here. The man you seek is nowhere to be found. Have you still not figured it out? Then allow me to tell you everything. I am the cursed witch, Morgana, who haunts this mansion. And you are the tragic plaything of fate, the white-haired girl named Giselle. Did my calling you master confuse you? If so, then I apologize. My habit of calling the master or mistress of the house master is quite deeply ingrained. And yes, that means precisely what you think it does. That I have accepted you as my new master. That I do like, however, that the cursed one is the new master of the house. That I wish for you to remain here, to stay with me. So let us put an end to this journey. Do not worry, there is nothing to fear. We are simply going to step outside the river of time. Nothing unpleasant will ever happen to you again. I will be here with you for all eternity, and I will give you my utmost care. Okay, I was not expecting this, honestly. You will not have to wait for anyone. Forget about him, the man you once thought. And I'm sure you shall find happiness. Please, do it for me. Over the past millennia, Morgana has fallen in love with Giselle. Is that what's going on? I have been waiting for you for so very long. I have wanted nothing more than to see you again. But you were continually stolen away from me, despite my sincerest desire to spend my days with you. Which is why I wanted you to recall everything. For surely you would not willingly repeat the same fate, if you knew of all the pain it has caused you to suffer thus far. Spend eternity with me, in the gentle embrace of darkness. The maid extended her hand for you. Her fingers, brushing up against yours, were as cold as ever. But her breath tickled your skin pleasantly, and her sweet words rang in your ears, filling you with warmth. You thought back on your time with her in the mansion. She had, indeed, always treated you with great compassion, and nothing she had said seemed to be a lie. And so you pondered. What were you to do? Accept a proposition, reject a proposition, there is still more to be done. Ooh, well, we need to save here, obviously. How do I will put it here so that I know where to go. There's a one in between. I only have 10 minutes left, so I'm going to reject a proposition. Hopefully that will give us a quick ending. You could not accept the maid's offer. If what she said was true, you could not give up on your search. You had spent years and years waiting to reunite with someone. Your previous attempts may have been rife with mistakes, but you could not stop trying. Come, master. Spend eternity with me in the mansion. We will have the most wonderful time together. The sweet tone of her voice, her cold fingers, her icy smile. They were all terrifying now. You had to escape. Had to break out of this darkness, make it outside. Master? What is the... You brushed the maid's hand aside. As her eyes widened, aghast, you fled from the observation tower. Down and down the spiral staircase you went, though not a whisper of footstep could be heard in the stone tower. The stairs seemed to go on forever. Down and down and down and down. At long last you arrived at the bottom, dashing from the next room without a passing glance at the angel in the stained glass window. The maid had shown you around the mansion, so you knew its layout. Or perhaps you were familiar with it even before arriving here. A large door came into view. The exit was up ahead. Master? At the next moment, her voice seized you from behind. You turned back, and there stood the maid, wearing the same smile. Oh, she is patient with us. Where do you think you are going, Master? I told you you mustn't let go of my hand. This mansion is quite large. You could get lost if you go walking around unaccompanied. Now come, let us head back. And please, do not let go of my hand. It was the same smile she always wore. The exact same. But right now, it seemed inexplicably ghoulish. The chill that ran down your spine was not from the lack of heat, but utter terror. Come, let us head somewhere else. You have to get out of here. Oh, I know. We can put some more kindling in the fireplace and start a fire. The sweet firelight and gentle warmth will have you feeling wonderful in no time. You had to get out of here. You must be quite disoriented. The impact of regaining your memories has you terrified. Am I correct? You had to get away, you had to escape, you had to get out of here. Question is, I did receive the notes, a link to all the backlog of The Witch from a Twitch streamer who's doing this entire gameplay in Italian. But it does not see... So I have not been back to that because they said I can just read it after I finish door 4. So that's what I was hoping to do here actually. But it doesn't seem that she's saying anything new here that is specific to what's happening right now. You had to get away, you had to escape, you had to get out of here. Do not worry. I will always take care of you. Keep you safe from anything that scares you. I will be here with you. Forever. You clawed at the door. It was not barred, so it should open. Nevertheless, you remained firmly in place. Now. You mustn't play around with that. Dangers lurks around every corner outside. Fog blocking your sight, sinkholes in the road, a thick forest all around, beasts creeping about in the night. How could I possibly allow a weak little you to go out into that? Now come back to my side, please. You have no need to be there. The maid drew toward you. She reached out her hand. Her whole body seemed to be trying to encase you in ice. She wanted to keep you chained here in the darkness. Do not worry, there is nothing to be afraid of. You had to get out of this place. You had to break free. From this house of darkness. From this doting maid. And from the maelstrom of tragedy. You had to remain firm, unyielding in that desire. You desired to go outside. You wished to be set free. Could not compromise or relent. Your thirst for escape had to be stronger than the maid's intent to keep you here. If it was, the door would surely open. Master! You dashed out into the light. There was nothing blocking your escape outside. No fog, no forest, no sinkholes, and no beasts in sight. The light was so bright it almost hurt your eyes. It was a world exactly opposite the darkness within the house. Master, please wait. You mustn't go out there. Come back, quickly. You couldn't hear the maid's voice, but you kept running through the light, as far as you could go. Wherever you arrived, you were sure That was where you were meant to be. Once though, just once, you looked back over your shoulder. It was blurry in the bright light, but you could see the mansion there. It wavered like a mirage, as though it could disappear at any second, a maid standing in the open door. She was desperately reaching her hand out for you, but you were far out of reach. It seemed she could not leave the house. Perhaps you felt a pang of pity for her, but you were not sure. And when you could no longer hear the maid shouting for you, your consciousness snapped off. You fell not into darkness, but light. Whoa! This is modern day. Paris? Well, shit. And the chapter doesn't have a name. Very interesting. I do not know if this is the epilogue or if we are going to continue the story here in some way. But yeah, that will be the end of today's episode. I was pretty much expecting her to die here. Oh, you do not want to be with me? Then, boom, you are no longer reconstructed. Something like that. But no, we are back in Paris in modern day. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And thank you, Josef, for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.